BMRForum.com and BMROdds.com. What is going on, boys? What is going on? Glad to be back on the lobby show. Not glad to be back in Vegas, though, Sammy, with these 115, 110-degree days.
Well, you must have brought the weather back to upstate New York. It's 40 degrees. I'm starting to layer up, getting the heavy jacket out. I'm already thinking about wintertime, shoveling cars, getting the jacket out, getting the gloves ready, maybe doing some inventory, seeing if I got to buy some stuff. But, you enjoy that warm weather. I'll stay cold in the East Coast. How about you, Donnie?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Sam, you're right about that. I went from shorts and a T-shirt walking the dogs to sweatpants, a hoodie, and a jacket walking the dogs going, where's the sun to try to warm me up out here? Now, the interesting on the East Coast, too, weather-wise, we don't get much rain right now. So it's been sunny every single day, which is great, and enjoying that playoff baseball. And usually October is like, hey, crispy weather, it's time for football. But we also know it's big-time baseball weather now.
Exactly right. And last but certainly not least, joining us back, the one and only Mr. Pipe. What's up, Piper?
How's it been going, man? Just dealing with life and, dealing with the curveballs that get thrown at you, brother. Trying to make a little money, contribute to the forum again, and let's make some money.
Definitely understandable, and definitely glad to have you back here on the show. Sammy, let's start off with you. Let's dive into a little tennis. How's that tennis thread looking? What's the record, and what do you got for us?
Yeah, so tennis, you got 5 tournaments across 5 different countries. The men are in Belgium, Kazakhstan, and Sweden. The women are in China and in Japan playing. A couple 500 level tournaments as well. So you still got some big name players that are playing. I'm sitting at 732 and 597 plus 61 units. The last match of the day is happening right now. It's a lot of overnight and early morning. I was 2 and 3 today, but look out for some action. We got a quarterfinal, semifinal, final action this weekend.
All righty, awesome. Thank you, Sammy, and good luck with all the action. Quick side note, Kazakhstan, that sounds like a made-up name. Where is that?
Kazakhstan?
I don't know, somewhere in Europe, somewhere, I don't know.
It sounds like you pulled that one out of your ass, Sam.
No, you know what? Speaking of adventures, Bobby, you just came from Alaska. Where's Alaska, Bobby?
Alaska is the 49th state there, Sammy.
Okay, we're not, but we're asking where is it located?
It's located. It's Alaska.
Okay, it's in Alaska. So how was Alaska, Bobby?
Alaska was beautiful. Had a really, really nice time. Didn't hit one of the ports. We were supposed to go over to Sitka. Got diverted due to a little medical emergency and some bad weather. But other than that, had an amazing time. Me and the wife were just up there about 3 years ago, so we opted not to really do any shore excursions. I did get off in each port and kind of walk around a little bit. But unfortunately, we went at a time of the year where most of the shops were closed. It was at the end of their season, so there really wasn't a lot going on in town. And unless you were going to do a shore excursion, there really wasn't a lot happening. And unfortunately, the shore excursions were pretty pricey. And then, as I mentioned a minute ago, me and the wife did one in every port last time we were there. So just opted to get off, kind of walk around. But I definitely took advantage of the ship. The food, I cannot honestly say I didn't have a bad meal on the ship. Food was delicious. Drinks were delicious. I definitely got my money's worth of that unlimited drink package. So it was.
How about gambling?
You know what? The gambling was not bad. Shout out JDS. I sent JDS a little video of the casino. I can go ahead and post it on the forum if anyone would like to see it. Casino was very small, maybe about 200 slots, if that, maybe about 7 or 8 table games. Very small casino, but I actually ended up winning for the trip. Won about $500 in the casino on board. So it was a profitable trip, profitable cruise. It felt like 9 nights was not long enough. Sammy knows about not long enough things.
There you go. Got him.
But
sounds like you enjoyed yourself.
I did. I definitely enjoyed myself.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. And, can't wait to book another one. I told the wife when we got back, I said, that's what's going to keep me going, having another vacation booked. Every 6 months, every year, I have something to look forward to. Now I came back, I have nothing. I just go back to work, and then that's it. I got nothing to look forward to, Sammy.
Yep.
9 days is a long time to be on a boat. I don't know if I could do it.
Then you get the vacation blues.
Yeah, exactly. You need a vacation for your vacation. And Pipe, to your point, it is a long time. The first cruise I took with the wife, it was only like a short 3-day one to see if she liked it and see, And she actually ended up liking it. So then we started going on 7-day, and this is actually the longest we've been on was a 9-day. But you don't get bored. As I mentioned, I think on other shows with the cruises, there's so much activities going on. They have trivia, and they have art auctions, they have the casino, and they have shows, and they have entertainment, and I can go on and on. There's so much to do and see on board. And that was just a relatively smaller ship that we've been on. Some of these new mega ships that they come out with nowadays, they have go-karts, they have bumper cars, they have a roller skating ring, they have an ice skating ring, they have a rock climbing wall.
Where'd you leave at, Bobby?
There's a lot to do. Yeah.
There is.
I could see that.
There is definitely a lot to do for sure. It's like a floating, self-contained city is the best way to describe it. Donnie, we left out of Seattle, Washington, flew up there.
How about that?
Flew up there a day early and toured around Seattle a little bit, and then on the way back, we actually stayed a night in Seattle. Actually, I was debating on going to the Seahawks 49ers game because that was on that Thursday that we were returning.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't happen. But we toured around Seattle a little bit, checked out Pikes Peak Market, which is like a great, almost swap meet-esque market up there, and just had a really, really nice time. Went to one of our favorite restaurants, the Melting Pot. I don't know if you guys ever been.
Yeah.
It's a fondue type restaurant. They had one out here in Vegas. Me and the wife actually made it our thing. We would go 1 or 2 times a month. Would basically be our spot. And then they ended up closing it down out here. So now whenever we go on vacation, whenever we go to a new city, we make it a point to seek out a Melting Pot and go there. And that's kind of our thing. But overall, it was a great vacation. And, unfortunately, now it's back to work, back to the old grind of doing stuff. But, looking forward to booking the next one.
That's fantastic, man.
Yes, it was. Sammy, let's jump over to you. Let's talk a little bit of MLB playoffs.
Yeah,
what have you been playing? What do you like?
Yankees 2-0 against the Guardians. Yankees in 5. It's going to be hopefully the first time in 15 years back into the World Series. We'll see over the next couple of days. And I still got my future going with the Subway Series. Yankees and Mets. I got $50 to win $1,100. I put that preseason.
Nice.
Pre-playoff about 2.5 weeks ago. Paid plus 2,200. So I got that.
That's
going.
Great.
So I got all day action going there. And then from an individual game standpoint, I kind of like the over tonight. I'm typically an under better, but starting in game 3, the bullpens are going to get a little bit stingy. It's going to be a little bit harder. The guys have played 2 or 3 games, multiple innings, and the players are going to have multiple at-bats against these pitchers. Game 1 had 9 runs, game 2 had 10 runs. So you got to kind of follow that trend, especially when teams start to get used to each other. So I think the trend will continue. I'm going to go with over 7.5, and let's go Yankees.
All righty.
Let's go.
Thank you, Sammy. Pipe, let's jump over to you. How's the playoffs been for you so far, and what do you got on deck for us tonight?
They've been pretty decent. I think people are on the Padres now coming up with the Dodgers.
Right.
I don't know if you guys remember, but I told you guys it would be the Dodgers and the Yankees, and I think the Dodgers are still going to do it. And I really think they're going to beat the Yankees, Sam. I know you don't want to hear that, but and I don't know if you guys remembered when Ohtani got into the betting scandal. We talked about Ohtani, and y'all remember I gave you all Ohtani MVP, right? 850.
Cash it.
Yes, I do.
That's right. And, that's going to cash.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely. So you mentioned Padres, Yankees there. Pipe, did you have a future ticket on that?
No. Dodgers, Yankees.
Yankees. Excuse me. Yankees.
Dodgers, Yankees. Yeah. I think, Padres are pretty good. They might beat the Dodgers, but I'm hoping that they don't.
All righty. Awesome. Donnie, let's jump over to you. How's the playoffs been for you, and what do you got tonight?
It's been great outside the Phillies getting their ass kicked by the Mets, but here the Mets are. But the one thing I was most impressed by there is the Mets got crushed in game number 1 from the Dodgers, and then game number 2 came back and crushed them, a role reversal. Now you get that little East Coast action back. We'll see how they perform. And quite frankly, Buehler versus Severino, if you said who's the better pitcher right now this season, it's probably Severino. So the Mets, maybe with a legitimate chance to go up 2-1 against the Dodgers, would be incredible. But I'm with Pipe. I do think we get Dodgers, and I do think we get Yankees. Before the playoffs started, I thought the Padres would be the team that would get through, and the Padres had chances to knock the Dodgers off, but hey, Heart of a champion, man, for the Dodgers. Came back and won that series and advancing. I've been having a lot of fun on a night-to-night basis just trying to pick off, because the good part about me being a total better to the over is I don't really take too many 8.5, 9.5. More focused on the team totals. Had the Mets team total over 3.5 in game number 2. Got a couple props tonight here, like, trying to get in the markets of over on bases, base hits, RBIs, and stuff like that. For the game tonight between the Mets and the Dodgers, I have Muncy, Ohtani, and Vientos all to get over 2+ bases. Individually, it's not that bad. Muncy to get 2 bases plus 150, Ohtani at minus 125, and Vientos at plus 125. Just looking to pinpoint some of those things as opposed to taking the sides or the totals for the game itself.
Hey, Donnie, let me ask you a question. When it comes to total bases, does a walk count as 1 base?
No.
Okay, so it has to be a hit.
It has to be a hit. It's got to be 2 singles, a double, a triple, home run. You get the picture, but a walk does not count, which is crazy. But I guess that's where the house gets the advantage, like 0 and 00 on the roulette machine.
Exactly. Well, good luck with those, Donnie, and thank you.
I got to correct myself. It's the Mets, not the Padres. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Donnie woke me the hell up. That's all right.
I was getting a good laugh out. Yeah. Do it all the time.
It's going to be a good series, though, because they're playing good. The Mets are playing good,
Yes, they are. It will definitely be a good series for sure, Pipe. Sammy, let's jump over to you with a little college football. How's it been for you? What do you got this weekend? Anything?
Yeah, college football, you got a couple big matchups again this weekend. It seems to happen every weekend. You got 2 teams that might be struggling. You got Alabama and Tennessee, the 7 versus 11. I say that they're struggling. Alabama, a couple weeks ago, won versus Georgia, then got steamrolled. Then they barely won last week. Tennessee coming off a loss. So this is one of those situations where you could have a 2-loss team that's still going to be ranked in the top 12. And you also look at Georgia, who has 1 loss that could face their 2nd loss against Texas this week, but still would be in that top 12. You can't afford a 3rd loss. It used to be 1 loss, you're out. Now, if you're a top 5 to 10 team, you can potentially afford 2 losses. 3 losses, no chance. But you have a great matchup with Alabama versus Tennessee. I like Tennessee +3 at home versus Alabama. And then the marquee matchup is Texas versus Georgia, 1 versus 5. Texas -5 at home. I think they're going to take care of business. And again, Georgia from the 5 will have 2 losses, probably drop down to 10 or 11, but still in line for the playoff. And then you got a team like Michigan and Illinois, 24 versus 22, who needs to basically win out the rest of the year to have any chance at that top 12. I like Michigan on the road at Illinois.
All righty, Sammy. Thank you for that. Pipe, let's jump over to you for a little college football. How's the season been for you so far? And what do you got?
It's been decent. It's been decent. Last week wasn't great, but prior to that, I was doing pretty good. I like that Thursday night game, BC against VTech. We're getting 48.5, past the key number. I like that under 48.5. And then on Saturday at 3:30, I like Ohio +3.5 against Miami, Ohio. I think they might beat them outright in that game. We're going to go down to the Utah, New Mexico. I know there's some money on New Mexico, but I'm going with the dog there, Utah +2. It was 1.5. I'm getting 2 now. I think they're going to beat New Mexico. Even though New Mexico's scoring a lot of points and its quarterback's been running all over the place, I think this is where they're going to meet their match this week. And then my final one is Florida against Kentucky. I like that under 42.5, guys. I think I'm going to go 4-0.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I hope you do go 4-0 there, Pipe. Good luck. Donnie, let's jump over to you. College football so far. How's it been, and what do you got this weekend?
I'm enjoying it. I said this is going to be the best college football season we've ever seen because great football teams taking losses during the regular season still have a chance to recover, which means more meaningful football games down the end of the season. Case in point, this past weekend, a phenomenal game between Ohio State and Oregon. I actually thought Ohio State would win that game, but Oregon pulls it out. Both teams still legitimate chances to win a national championship. Love to see it. If we are looking at this weekend, Friday Night Football, Florida State and Duke, the handicapper in me sees the white flag right here. Duke is about 8 out of every 10 tickets here going up against Florida State. That line opened up around 4.5. Now we're sitting at around a 3. That's deadpan. You should be taking Florida State. I'm not doing it. I can't back Florida State. Florida State to win a football game is hard. Florida State to win a football game on the road, even harder. Don't care. I'm going to ignore every single red flag that I usually try to avoid when college football handicapping. I'm going to take Duke here. And then we go big game hunting on Saturday, 3:30 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Alabama and Tennessee, 2.5-point favorite to Alabama on the road. Sammy pointed out, not playing great football as of late. That's a 56.5. I'm going under the total here. Usually in the past, hey, Alabama will light it up and so will Tennessee. I'm not seeing those offenses rolling into form the past couple weeks. Give me the under in that football game. Georgia and Texas, a 2.5 turns into a 4.5. Texas last week, I think, got a little bit lucky. They said, Donnie, how could they get lucky? They blew out in the Red River rivalry the Oklahoma Sooners. Ewers wasn't very good last week. I'm hoping he gets back to the form he had before he got injured. And I believe that this flag here, the 2.5 to the 4.5, actually makes a difference. Texas by a touchdown at home over Georgia. That's where I'm going this weekend, boys.
All right.
I like it, Donnie.
Thank you, and good luck with that. And, speaking of this weekend, guys, Sunday, October the 20th, it'll be our poker event number 5. Still plenty of opportunities, about 7 more opportunities, including this weekend, boys, to get your hands on a coveted tournament of event champion ticket and get your chance to win a share of plenty of baller coins. You have a chance to win each and every week for first or second. The tournament of champions, you have a lot more opportunities, including the bounties. So definitely get your hands on a poker entry. Sammy, Donnie, Pipe, I'd love to see you guys involved with.
I got to get in there one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the Steelers game. We got to get in during the Steelers game this Sunday. We could do it.
There
you go.
Great to me. Sammy, let's jump over to you. Let's talk a little Week 6 NFL. How was your wagers and how did everything go for you?
Yeah, in reference to Week 6 in the contest, I went 3-4, so middle of the line. Shout out to there were 7 guys that went 7-0. I'm sorry, 6 players that went 7-0.
Wow.
So shout out to those guys. You had 6 guys. Crazy Crooks, Big Daniel, KB, Hirsch, Giant, 5611, TT Warrior, and Magic Cap all went 7-0. So congrats to them. But for me, I went 3-4. So I'm just hoping for 1 week, weekly prizes. You got to love that ability. If you're not going to win it for the year, just worry about it from a week to week standpoint.
Right.
But, my Cowboys got smacked. They got embarrassed at home.
Yes, they did.
Touchdown. Well, now they're going into their bye week, and the worst part is they paid everyone. So it's not like, they're losing. Maybe this is their time to reshape and rebuild their team. It's like, no, you just paid your quarterback. You just paid your wide receiver. It's Super Bowl or bust type of season. So, I don't know what's going on. We know that they can't defend the run. Now they have no run game on offense. So you're relying on straight up pass offense and pass defense, which isn't enough clearly to win any games. And you got to stop the red zone turnovers. The other thing that sucked was Monday Night Football. So in reference to Monday night, I had an all New York parlay with me and my buddy that's a Jets fan that came over. We had the Islanders, we had the Mets, we had the Yankees, we had the Rangers, and we had the Jets.
Wow.
2,200, and of course, the Jets was the last leg of it, and I'm not going to blame the refs. The refs stole Monday Night Football, but they were horrible on both sides. Over 220 yards of total penalties. But you got to make your field goals, and you got to convert in the red zone. The Jets were 1 out of 5 scoring touchdowns in the red zone, and then you missed a 32 and a 42-yard field goal. They lose the game by a field goal. So those are the reasons. But it killed our parlay. It was it sucked. We ate well on Monday, but the end result was more alcohol and went to bed.
That sucks for sure, Sammy. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. That's horrible. But Pipe, let's jump over to you. Your Week 6 in the NFL. How was it?
Last week wasn't good, man. A lot of favorites and a lot of overs, and I don't play that.
Right.
But this week, it happens sometimes, but this week I got quite a few here. I'm looking at that Bills Titans. I think that under 41 is going to be good. I'm getting a good number there. I think that game's going under. And then I'm also looking at the Eagles. The Eagles against the Giants. I feel that that's going to be a defensive game. I kind of think the Giants might cover there, but I'm going with the under 43. And then the big game I've been looking for is KC and the 49ers. That number's at 47. I know that's way too high. I expect the 49ers to win there in an under game. And then Sunday night, listen, Aaron Rodgers got his weapon. They're only 1.5. Jets are going to win that game. Oh, and it's also going to be under 38.5, guys.
All righty, Pipe. Good luck with those. And last but certainly not least, let's go over to Donnie. Donnie, how was that Week 6 for you?
Yeah, so weak sidewise, sitting in 20th place here. And Sammy says there's a long way to go. You just have to get one of those weeks 6-1, hit your top 7, 6, and 5 numbers, and you're right back in it. So scuffling a bit, but I do think this week is going to be solid. Also, we had a lot of fireworks this week, guys. Last week was the head coach got fired in New York. Now you have Devontae Adams to the Jets. Now you have Amari Cooper coming over to the Buffalo Bills. So things starting to shape up for me this weekend. If I'm looking at the card, I saw New England play this week. They got absolutely smoked. May did make a couple nice throws, but I got to tell you, most people say, I'm going to take New England with the 5.5 points this week. I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to go ahead and take the Jacksonville Jaguars this week in that game, and I'll lay the 5.5. If I take the Philadelphia Eagles at 3.5, I agree with Pipe. You're looking at the best offensive tackle for the New York Giants is out this week and probably out for the season in Andrew Thomas. That's going to be a devastating blow. Malik Neighbors should be back for this game, but how effective after missing 2 weeks after a concussion? Daniel Jones, not a great quarterback. The Philadelphia Eagles have shown we aren't as explosive as we've been in the past. Alex Goddard's out, and also Jordan Mailata, their right tackle, will be missing this game and a few more games with a hamstring injury. Saquon Barkley's probably going to eat on the ground. That clock could move. I agree. Typically, I'd say a higher scoring game between the Giants and the Eagles. We're probably going lower. I'll lay with the Eagles. Atlanta at home versus Seattle. I don't understand this line. -2.5 as a home team for Atlanta. Give me Atlanta to win by a field goal in this game. Green Bay, -2.5 at home against Houston. I love Houston. I just love even more the way the Green Bay Packers are playing with Jordan Love now officially 100% healthy and those young wide receivers getting after it. I'll lay the 2.5 points. My favorite team in the NFL right now, guys, it's the Detroit Lions. It is. They're going to face the undefeated Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going to take the Detroit Lions on the road with the 2.5 points. And how about this one? I love the Buffalo Bills. I really do. And I know everybody's going to climb on their bandwagon, and they should. They're a legitimate contender now to win an NFL championship. But Tennessee, I'm taking the 8.5 points in this game. I think Buffalo wins, maybe by a touchdown. I'll take more than a touchdown. And then also San Francisco, Kansas City, maybe the best team with Andy Reid off of a bye, 21-4. I'm bucking that trend. San Francisco's at home. They're laying 1.5 for a reason. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That's where I'm going this week, boys.
All righty, Donnie, good luck with those. And before we jump over to a little Week 7 preview, guys, let's talk real quick. I want to see how Sammy, let's go to you on this. I want to see how big of an impact, if any, of this is going to be. News came down the pipeline that Tom Brady has been approved by the NFL to maintain a partial ownership of the Raiders, only about 5%. You see this having any effect?
No.
Okay. All right.
The team is so bad right now. It's not like they have any national TV games where he even gets to commentate on their games. And they're an AFC team, and he's mainly a Fox, for the NFC type of, for analyst. So he won't even get to call his own team. But no, I don't really think it plays any difference. Just whatever. He just keeps making more money.
Dottie, what do you think?
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things for us, it doesn't mean anything. But for the Raiders, it is a pretty good look getting Tom Brady as part of your ownership group. It's only 5%, but he can now be the face of the Raiders and maybe have some input to turn around that impotent franchise out there. I think that's a good look. Tom Brady's going to make a lot of money with that 5% stake. He'll probably turn it into hundreds of millions of dollars over the next 10 to 15 years. But outside of that, makes no difference whatsoever. The only thing I do like about it, boys, is now we can finally say, hey, maybe Brady comes back if Brock Purdy gets hurt in week 9 for the 49ers. Thank goodness, because if you're an owner, you absolutely cannot play. Thank you.
Yep. And then, Piper, what do you think on this? Anything?
I also heard something about he can't do certain games now that he's a minority owner. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard.
As far as broadcasting?
Yeah. I don't know how true that is, but
he can't sit in on the meetings is what the official thing is, because now he's an owner.
Oh, okay.
Share information and go back and forth. I think he could do the games, Pipe, but when you do the games, they let you sit in with the coaches on Friday afternoon, and they tip you off to the big plays of the game. When they might call fake punts, so you can actually have that access to call the game better. But now it looks like that's a little bit in jeopardy, which could hurt the broadcast.
Right. I understand it now. I'm looking forward to them doing a Patriot game.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
A max. Yeah,
for sure. Sammy, let's jump over to you. A little Week 7 preview. What do you got this weekend? What do you got in your 7?
Yeah, so for the 7, I'm starting off. I agree with Donnie for the London game. Jacksonville, they stayed out there, which might be an advantage for them over New England that has to travel this week. So yes. Jacksonville got beat up last week, and Doug Peterson's job is definitely on the line if they lose again this week, especially to fucking New England. They're terrible. But I think Jacksonville with the ability to stay there that extra week so they don't have to do the traveling. Hopefully they get their offense rolling. And New England they stink. They don't have an offense. And then for the afternoon, I'm
Dumpster
definitely
fire.
going to highlight some of the big marquee matchups of the week. Houston versus Green Bay. I really like the over in that game. 47.5. You got two top tier offenses, and they should have some firepower in there and get over on that 47.5. The Lions and the Vikings. Lions coming off obviously one of the best wins of the season, but you do have the Vikings 5-0, and they've beat legitimate teams. At home. They have beaten, they beat Houston, they beat San Fran, and they beat the Jets, and they beat Green Bay in a division match on the road. This is another marquee divisional match, and they're coming off a bye week, so I'm going to take Minnesota at home over the Lions.
Oh,
And the other Super Bowl matchup, Super Bowl rematch, you have the other 5-0 team, and again coming off bye, and like Donnie mentioned, Andy Reid's record coming off a bye. So I'm going to go against you two, and I'm going to go with Kansas City over San Fran in that 4-8. And then Sunday Night Football, I think it's because my friends are Jet fans and we always hang out when they are playing on national TV. So I'm just riding with the Jets train, and I'm just going down with the boat. Give me another national TV game. Give me the Jets minus 1.5 over.
they're not going down.
Go down Rodgers. But listen, he's got Devontae Adams on one side. He's got Garrett Wilson on the other side. So, he does have another weapon, which in theory should help that offense, and it's going to give less pressure to Garrett Wilson, which will give him more ability to get open on offense. And then you got two Monday Night Football matchups again this week. You got Baltimore and Tampa Bay, which is a great matchup on paper. I'm actually not going to bet that game. You got Baltimore minus 3.5. I would lean towards Tampa Bay with the hook. The other matchup I do like, which is Chargers on the road against Arizona. I think the Chargers are just a better team, and take them minus 2.5 over Arizona. It seems like I bet against Arizona, and I'm wrong, but hopefully I'm right this week.
All righty, Sammy. Thank you. Donnie, let's jump over to you. Week 7. What do you got? And what do you got for your 7?
Yeah, I'll go over the top 7 again. Jacksonville over the New England Patriots. I'll lay the 5.5. The Philadelphia Eagles minus 3.5. I'll take them against the New York Giants. Atlanta minus 2.5 at home. I'll take them over Seattle. Green Bay minus 2.5. I'll take them over Houston and also Detroit. Even though they're on the road, they are getting 2.5 points. I'll take them outright to beat the Minnesota Vikings. I'm also going to take the Tennessee Titans, getting the 8.5 points from the Buffalo Bills. A very unpopular public decision. I'm going to go against the trend and say, hey, Tennessee gets beat, but they do cover that line. And then I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers, as Sammy just said. He's taking Kansas City. I can't fault them for that. Andy Reid off a bye is damn near unbeatable. I'm just going to say, we'll move that 4 losses over to 5 losses off the bye for Big Red.
All righty, Donnie. Thank you. And thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Pipe. Thank you, Donnie. And thank you to each and every one of you that tune in to this broadcast each and every week. We will see you around on the forum, guys, and best of luck with all your action.
Great show this week, guys.
See ya.